So, in a previous video of mine about BFN corn, I briefly mentioned that I would cover Shogun Guard in a separate video. And well, this is that video. Today I'll be covering what Shogun Guard is, its positives and negatives compared to regular corn, and if it's overall worth using. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. So Shogun Guard is a very interesting legendary upgrade. It's not like a couple of the other upgrades, where only one major change is made. Oh no, this one's different. The most major change that this upgrade offers is simple. It changes Corn's fire rate to something much closer to Commando Corn. On top of that, his damage is now at the range of 11 to 13, with it being 15 in Butter Beacon. Oh, and his ammo was also cut down to 25. So this change is already pretty interesting, but it wouldn't really make this upgrade anything special, especially compared to Super Spin and Rapid Recob, until you factor in the second major change. Corn also now has a shield that covers him from his head to his upper chest. That can be activated when you're aiming, and it can soak up to 75 damage. It also regenerates when it's not being used. So that's basically what this upgrade is. It essentially turns Corn from a primarily offensive character to a much more defensive character. This is a really interesting change, and it opens up a lot of possibilities with Corn. So now that you have a basic understanding of this upgrade, let's move on to the positives and the negatives. Let's start with the positives. Corn now deals double the damage he could initially, and he can also save himself from getting shot by characters like Deadbeard or 80s. Shogun also offers a smaller recoil, especially when you're aiming. Of course, normal Corn has decent recoil as well, but Shogun does it much better. Those are all very positive things. But let's see how they stack up compared to normal Corn. First of all, Corn has a few very good upgrades, Super Spin and Rapid Recob in particular. Oh, and by the way, if you don't know what those upgrades are, just go watch my BFN Corn video. I'll put a link on the top right of the screen here. Anyways, these upgrades are really good, and they make a major DPS difference for Corn. I would argue that they're actually even better for dealing damage, especially Super Spin. But that's not all. Normal Corn also fires much faster than Shogun, with a 650 RPM, compared to Shogun's much lower 300 RPM. On top of this, Shogun Guard punishes you for having bad aim, as the RPM is low and the magazine size is lower. Regular Corn, on the other hand, is much better prepared for something like this, as his RPM is high enough to allow some Corn some leeway in his aiming skills. So there's the most important downsides. Shogun is more of a defensive character, so losing RPM and ammo is kind of a given. But losing out on the potentially amazing Corn upgrades really hurts. But wait, hang on. Before you dismiss this upgrade, there is one last thing we need to go over. The remaining upgrade options. Let's talk about them. This section won't be too long, as your options for upgrades are limited after picking Shogun. I'll limit down the choices to what I believe to work best. The few options are as follows: Combo, Low Life, Leveling Up, 20/10, and Mob Cobs. Combo, Low Life, and Leveling Up are all starting upgrades for Corn, so I'm not going to go too into detail about them here. As for Mob Cobs and 20/10, these are both pretty gimmicky picks. 20/10 just increases Butter Beacon's size, which is handy if you like to boost your damage output as often as possible. And Mob Cobs are simply a great way to stack up extra ammo, along with controlling crowds. Now, if you ask me, I personally believe that Mob Cobs are the better choice here, as they play into Shogun's gimmick really well. But outside of those options, there really isn't much more variety. You could play Healer and use Refreshing Revive, but then you're going to be stuck with either Rough Patch or Reaping Leap. So the options here aren't that unique, but they still help quite a bit. So we've now covered just about everything there is to cover about this upgrade. And that means that we can finally answer the big question. Is Shogun Guard worth using? If you ask me, with all of the information we have in this video, yes. But, that being said, it's also important to add a question mark behind that yes. See, Shogun is a great upgrade. However, I wouldn't say that it's exactly the friendliest upgrade to many players. I think the best way to describe it is that Shogun has a bit of a learning curve. It's a very powerful upgrade, but you'll definitely need to learn how to use it properly if you want to utilize it to its fullest potential. And with that being said, I think I'll end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching, I really appreciate it. I took some advice from people for this video in particular, which was adding more footage to it. Let me know if you guys like this change. I personally think it turned out better. Also, if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more content, then maybe consider subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And if you want to have a more extensive talk about Shogun in general, then hop on over to my Discord server. And as always, I'll see you guys on my next video. Peace.